We know that as people transition through the stages of later life, many older people experience challenges and obstacles that, without the right support at the right time, have negative impacts on their quality of life and well-being. Older people were significantly affected by COVID-19 and lockdown. They suffered depression, lack of hope, anxiety, worries about the future, low mood, lack of support for meal preparation, a poor diet, in some cases malnutrition, deteriorating physical health, loss of mobility and pain from untreated health conditions. Housebound for months, they experienced muscle deconditioning, poorer balance and higher risks of falls. Their appetites and diets were affected, weakening their resilience further. Added to the lasting effects of COVID are the additional pressures on local older people, brought on by the national cost of living crisis, which will put significant additional pressures on adult social care and the NHS as a direct result of older people not being able to properly look after their own welfare and well-being. This is an unprecedented situation, but there are also fewer assets and sources of resilience for older people, such as community networks, family support and informal care. We know now, in a way we didn't a few years ago, that experiencing loneliness in older age has serious potential health impacts. Conversely, there is also now good evidence to show that having good social networks as you age can serve to protect you against various health risks. The implication is clear. An effective health promotion strategy for older people ought to include some focus on helping them to sustain and refresh their friendships. This is an important message for Age UK Northamptonshire, and it underpins the national No One Should Have No One campaign that we have recently been involved in. Loneliness and isolation are not a normal part of ageing. They need to be tackled because they have serious negative consequences for physical and mental health in older people. A lack of social ties confers vulnerability. It's crucial to recognise that isolation and loneliness are two distinct concepts. It is possible to be isolated without being lonely, and we should all avoid making those assumptions when assessing older people. It is also possible to be lonely without being isolated, and we all need to consider the needs of people in those circumstances, such as carers, care home residents and others. Some people are luckier in life than others, with more of the characteristics and experiences that help protect against loneliness and adversity, and fewer of those that make it more likely. However, it is also true that we can all go through periods when we are especially vulnerable. For example, following a bereavement, an occasion where we were without financial resources, a situation when we were alone and knew no one. At times like this, we need some extra care and support. So the thinking in this presentation really isn't about them, it is about all of us too.
Hello Jack, I'm Kirsty from the Ageing Well team at Age UK Northamptonshire. This must be your daughter Sophie. It's nice to meet you both. I understand the Extra Help at the End of Life team have been supporting your wife Mary, you and the family recently, while you cared for Mary at home during her final weeks. I'm so sorry for your loss. This is understandably an emotional and challenging time for you both. The Extra Help team have asked me to come and see you to chat through what's been happening and to see how we might be able to support you, as people often feel lonely and isolated following a bereavement, and they need extra support to find the new normal in day-to-day life. I know this is very overwhelming for you both, as a lot has changed very quickly, so let's take this one step at a time. Let's start me telling you about the team I work for at Age UK Northamptonshire, the Ageing Well team. The Age Well team is a team of support workers from different organisations across health, social care and the voluntary sector who work closely with GP surgeries. Working together enables us to help you and your family to access a wide variety of support and services while you only tell your story once. The support we offer can be anything from a consultation with a GP to community support. Whatever you would like to talk about, we are here to listen to what is important to you at this time and to support you to access what you need. Jack, when we spoke on the phone, you told me that since Mary is gone, the silence in the house is really upsetting you, and you can days or weeks without leaving the house or speaking to someone other than Sophie. You mentioned this is really getting you down and you feel so lonely you just cannot be bothered to do anything. You also told me that you worry about being a burden on Sophie as you do not have anyone else. I agree, Jack, it is important to have friends and people around us, and it would make the world a difference to you and Sophie if you were able to chat with other people. I would like to suggest trying telephone befriending, and this will enable you to start building your confidence to speak to other people outside the family again. If you're happy for me to do so, I'll put you in touch with our volunteers and befriending coordinator, Caroline, who would love to chat with you about how her team can help you. I look forward to hearing how you get on.
Hello Jack, lovely to meet you. My name's Caroline Roy and I manage the Age UK Northamptonshire telephone befriending service. Firstly, thank you for welcoming me into your home. I've come to talk to you about the telephone befriending service we offer following a home visit to you by my colleague Kirsty. This service supports older people living in Northamptonshire who may be isolated or at risk of being lonely, and we aim to prioritise people who do not have family or friends they feel able to rely on. Kirsty informed me that sadly your wife, Mary, passed away recently. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jack. Must be a really difficult time for you. Our team will do all we can to support you through this difficult time, to empower you to live independently, achieve your goals and give you the information you need to make an informed choice. We're very fortunate to have such kind, patient and respectful volunteers that always go above and beyond across all of our services, including the telephone befriending service. Some of our befrienders have been making regular calls to their befriendees for 3 years plus and have formed such great relationships. All of our volunteers are given training and their DBS checked, and the service is free. To access this service, all we ask is this short referral form, referral form be completed, and I'll leave this one with you. Once this is returned to me, your name will be placed on our waiting list for allocation of a volunteer. Volunteers are matched with you based on all the information you supply or that's obtained, for example, your interests and hobbies. On matching, I would be in contact with you to let you know the name of the volunteer who's allocated to you and give you a little bit of information about them. The volunteer would then make contact, arranging a suitable day, time and frequency of call best suited to you both. Each call that's made, the volunteer will make a few notes. This allows me to keep up to date and offer support to you both. It also allows opportunity for you and the volunteer to report any concerns, ensuring safety is paramount, and refer on to additional services may they be deemed necessary with your agreement, of course. Any actions I take are reported back to the volunteer to keep you fully informed. There may be instances I call you directly. This is to gain a better insight to any issues you may be faced with, or maybe just simply to check in and see how things are going. Do you have any questions, Jack? No, I know that's a lot of information to take on board. If you would like support in completing this form, My contact details are at the back there. Don't hesitate to give me a call and I can come out to you again, or we can do this over the telephone. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you for your time, and I do hope to hear from you. Enjoy the rest of your day, Jack.
It's nice to see you both again. I'm really pleased that you spoke with Caroline and that you were giving the telephone befriending a try, Jack. I look forward to hearing how you get on. Sophie, you told me that you were really concerned about Dad's safety around the home. I understand that you live some distance away, which makes it difficult to get here quickly to support your dad if he needs help. Jack, you also told me that feeling lonely has meant you've lost motivation to do things and you are now not as physically active anymore. You told me this has caused you to become unsteady on your feet, and a recent fall has reduced your confidence, and that because of this you tend to sit in your chair watching television as you feel safer. Whilst being here with you, I have noticed that you're using the furniture to move around indoors. I think you benefit from a chat with my colleague Roger, who can discuss personal alarms and mobility equipment to help keep you safe and rebuild your independence. Is that okay?
Jack, Sophie, I'm Roger from AGK Northamptonshire. Kirsty's asked me to speak with you regarding a personal alarm, or some people call it a lifeline. For me, Jack, it's all about peace of mind for you, so that if you feel unwell, or if you take a tumble, or if you feel that you're getting anxious, you can press the button on the alarm and speak to the call centre, which is available 24 hours a day. For you, Sophie, it's peace of mind that as you're around 30 minutes away from where your dad lives, you know that help is available and you'll be contacted if there's a problem. If you're happy to, Jack, you'd wear a pendant round your neck or a wristband on your arm. Now, these are waterproof, so you should wear it 24 hours a day. The system works within a 100-metre radius from where it's plugged in, so the bedroom, the bathroom and the garden should also be covered for you. When you're ready, I'll pass your details on to the alarm company, which is called Careline 365, for them to call you to start the process. As your assessment continues, Jack, we may find that you need other services where we can help you, such as simple mobility equipment to help you move around the home, such as a rollator or a walking frame. One of our partner companies supplies both new and used mobility equipment, making them very affordable. So instead of paying out thousands of pounds on a new rise and recliner chair, for instance, a second-hand maintained chair could be as cheap as around £400. Sophie, there may also come a time when you may need to help your dad with finances. Again, our paralegal partner can help arrange not only power of attorney applications, but also help out with writing a will if needed. One last thing, Jack, I did note that you're a keen chess player. Now, Frank Kitchens, who coordinates our Daycare at Home team, would be happy to speak with you, as the team who come out to your home to offer this service can also challenge you to a game of chess perhaps.
Jack, Roger tells me that you and Mary used to enjoy playing chess and you would like to continue this hobby, but you were unable to join the local chess club as you cannot get there. You also mentioned that you and Mary had a system for the household jobs. Mary did the inside jobs and you did the outside jobs. But because you feel unsteady on your feet and you were struggling to get motivated, you were having difficulty keeping on top of things. I would like you to chat with my colleague Fran, who can talk to you about some ways we can support you around the house, as well as supporting you to have a game of chess and have some interaction with others.
Hello Jack, and hello Sophie, it's really nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you from my colleagues, and I do understand that this has been a really difficult period for you both. Jack, I know that you've lost your wife Mary, and obviously Sophie, you've lost your mum. So really what we're going to do with care support at home is just start at the beginning. I know that this might seem a little strange, but everybody else is sort of offering support, and they're going to do this and they're going to offer you that and all the rest of it. But what I'm going to try and do is actually work with you so that we just have a pause, take a breath. Most important thing when you've lost someone you've loved dearly is just to be able to talk about them. I think a bereavement is such a personal thing. It's personal and different for you, Jack, as it is for you, Sophie. And I think that it really does help, and I know that it certainly helped me, to be able to actually talk about the person that you loved and you still love. You know, talk about the laughter, the funny incidents that happened, the arguments that you might have had, just the general memories that you have built up over all of these years of marriage, and obviously of being a daughter. So first of all, the thing to remember is that we will talk about Mary whenever you want to. We will be able to embrace all of those lovely memories and be able to start the healing process. But we'll just take it very softly and very slowly, one step at a time. You know, being bereaved, although that it is an emotional event, it is also a physical event, because you feel almost as if I felt as if I'd sort of hit a wall, and I wasn't quite sure where to go from there. So what we will do is actually address all the other things that have come about with the bereavement. We'll start to look at your personal health, Jack. I know that your mobility was absolutely fine before Mary passed, but you've spent many hours sitting beside a bed, and, you know, Sophie, I know that you have physical problems as well, so your chronic pain won't have helped. So a little bit of exercise. We start off in the chair, and I know that you're looking at me wide-eyed and thinking, what on earth is this woman talking about? One minute she wants me to talk about Mary, and the next minute she wants me to exercise. But it really is about getting you out and about building your life, about meeting other people, about going to the supermarket, get your hair cut, just even perhaps us taking you to the chess club. I mean, it really is just the first steps. Nothing will be done without you really wanting to, and if we need to encourage you, we'll be there every single step of the way. What we do is that we come along initially and we just spend an hour with you. And I think that it's quite important that we start to do things together. So we could cook a meal, we can play a game of chess. I've never, ever, ever won a game. So it would be wonderful if I could beat you just once. You could even pretend, that would be good. But more importantly, it's just taking it step by step. Now, looking at next week, what day is really good for you? Is Wednesday better, or would you prefer Friday?
There's some things for you and Sophie to consider there, Jack. You don't have to make any decisions right now. Once you've had time to think about it, please get in touch and let me know if you'd like to try any of those services, and I'll get it arranged for you. Sophie, while spending time with you and your dad, I have noticed that despite having your own battles with chronic pain, you don't take a lot of time for yourself, and you push your own needs aside so you can support your dad as much as possible. This must be extremely difficult, and I understand how this can make you feel isolated and alone. You mentioned previously you often feel very low in mood and that no one understands what you're going through. I also understand your personal circumstances make you feel anxious as you want to be there for your dad, but your health can prevent this. I would like to put you in touch with our Spring team, who offer support to people over the age of 18 living with a long-term health condition. Spring look at the wider contributing factors of health, working in a non-clinical, strength-based way to help you achieve your goals. Spring are led by you and work closely with other community groups, offering specialist support where it is needed. Spring also offer groups and socials which you may benefit from as a chronic pain sufferer. I would like to put you in touch with Carol, one of their group leaders who also lives with chronic pain. Would that be okay?
Thanks, Sophie. Sounds like you've been dealing with an awful lot, so thanks for coming to see me. Let's try and think about how we can best help you. You've told me about living with pain. I'm not sure how you might feel about coming into a group session, but the groups that we offer are really, really supportive, and everybody actually are dealing with lots of very similar things in the classes. So it's a really good opportunity to maybe have some of your own time, which could be a really good thing, and also get you out of the house so you can meet some like-minded people really that are really not judgmental at all. So if you could join one of the classes, that might be a good idea. If that feels a little bit too much for you at the moment, I'm not sure if that might be the case, then you could perhaps consider joining me on Zoom, and then we'll just see if we can help you find some of your way out of pain. And then perhaps when you feel a little bit more confident with that, the anxiety might subside a little bit. I know when I was living with a lot of chronic pain, it was really difficult for me to actually envisage being social with anyone at all, because of course you're dealing with the whole context of having to make an effort for people, and of course when you're so exhausted from the pain, it's just impossible actually being able to do that. So I think we need to try and find a way to create some space for you so that you can take care of you as a priority. And I think we need to look at how we can help just dull down the effort of living with pain. So if we can look at diluting that pain a little bit and giving you some really simple, easy tools that you can work with on your own at home, then hopefully this will start to help you feel less isolated and more positive with a potential way forwards. So I'm just wondering which classes might be best for you. It might be a good idea to try one of the classes that I offer where we do a little bit of Qigong. So obviously that's a mindful movement practice, so we can become less and less able to move because we do less when we're living with pain. So the good thing about Qigong, which is the mother of Tai Chi, is that we can help you find some ways to move freely, but in a way which isn't too exacerbating of symptoms and actually may help your range of movement and better way of being. The other thing about Qigong, of course, it's going to help with the anxiety that comes with isolation and pain. So it will help find you a calmer place to be in your head. You'll be better able to support your dad then. I think the problem is when you are looking after other people, it's so easy to forget yourself, and then when you've forgotten yourself, everything just becomes too overwhelming, and just everything that you have to deal with day to day becomes too much. So I think it's really important that we help you feel more relaxed and better able to cope with things that challenge. So we've got a mixed class where we do Qigong, and then I also introduce Mount Method. So Mount Method isn't actually a movement class as such, it's not an exercise, it's a therapy, it's teaching you to be your own therapist. And what I love about that is that it works with chronic pain. It is actually science, but what it will do for you is give you things that you can learn that take you 5-10 minutes, that are flexible, that you can learn to do at home. So I don't know, sometimes when you're dealing with that discomfort, you know, the first thing in the morning getting up and feeling really uncomfortable, or perhaps you know, the restless legs that can come at the end of the day. If you've just got something you can go to that might mean you don't need the medication, that may or may not be giving you the responses you want at the time, or it just gives you some more choices really. And I know that if I use the Mount Method, it really, really helps me deal with that chronic pain and kind of take off that edge. The other thing we want to do is obviously look at giving you more energy. if you find ways to give you more energy, that's going to make you feel better able to deal with what it is that you're dealing with. And of course, if you're better able to do that, then the anxiety will hopefully subside and you'll be able to re-engage with the world a little bit more and find some companionship again.
Jack, I see your adaptations are coming along nicely. Sophie, I'm really pleased that you found the information from our spring colleagues helpful, and this has inspired you to give something back. It's great news to hear that you are considering becoming a volunteer. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to have a sense of satisfaction knowing you are doing something to help other people. It will most definitely give you a sense of purpose and will help you feel like you have a place in the world. Jack, this might be something that interests you in the future too. Let me ask our volunteers coordinator, Caroline, to give you both some information about volunteering opportunities.
Hello Jack, lovely to see you again and lovely to meet you too, Sophie. Great to hear the telephone befriending calls are going so well for you, Jack. From my understanding, you both have much to talk about, given you both grew up in the local area, sparking lots of discussions, I'm sure. Sophie, thank you for showing an interest in volunteering with Age UK Northamptonshire. My name's Caroline and I manage the telephone befriending service and support and recruit all the volunteers within Age UK Northamptonshire. I understand that you're moving to live closer to Dad in the near future and you're worried about being isolated or maybe not having many friends or knowing anyone here. A great reason for your interest in volunteering with us and a great opportunity to form new relationships and support mechanisms in this area. We welcome offers of help from new volunteers and with many rewarding opportunities available that may appeal to you both. In many cases, our volunteers approach us wanting to give back to society and or the charity for supporting a family member, loved one or friend, just as you have, Sophie. Some simply just have spare time to put to good use in helping others, meeting new people and doing something meaningful whilst forming trusted friendships. All of our volunteers want to make a difference to the lives of older people affected by loneliness and isolation or ill health, which is the overarching reason for them joining Age UK Northamptonshire. Through volunteering, Sophie, you can make new friendships, develop new skills and undergo new experiences that may lead to a change in career, help you to secure paid employment or simply bring an increased value to yours and others' lives. We're currently looking for more volunteers in our telephone befriending service, in several of our charity shops and within 3 of our day centres, which I'm aware you're keen to find more information about. Our closest day centre to you, following your move, will be our Venton Centre in York Road, Northampton, and the role would include welcoming clients, serving refreshments, dinners, getting involved in activities, encouraging clients to join in, to name but a few. I've actually got a whole list here, Sophie, that I'm going to leave with you. You'll be supported by the Age UK team and volunteers and students alike. Everybody mucks in as we're required, creating a great atmosphere and excellent team working. All of our teams are really supportive, friendly, and I'll introduce you to them. We're all on hand throughout your volunteering journey should you need us. You'd receive full training in all areas of the role, continued support, and we can offer a flexible approach to your needs. There are also delicious dinners and puddings that you can enjoy free of charge, just as our little way of saying thank you during your shifts. More information can be found on our website regards this role and many others. Here's the day service volunteer role description. Like I said, I'll leave that with you, and I can also email the links to you and a couple of volunteer application forms. By increasing our volunteer count, we have a wider outreach, enabling us to support more local older people to access life-changing services. Do you have any questions, Sophie? You have my number should you want more information or support in applying. Our promise to you is that you'll enjoy your time volunteering with us and that you'll always feel supported and safe. Thank you for your time, and I really look forward to hearing from you.
Before I go, Jack, you mentioned that if you had more money, you would be able to get to appointments or go out without relying on Sophie, and that you were concerned with managing the bills as Mary always did the budgeting. You also told me you were worried your income would be lower, but the cost of things is going up. I would like you to speak to our information and advice team who complete a means-tested benefit check and help you apply for attendance allowance if you meet the criteria. This will ensure you are receiving the maximum income possible and may help towards everyday living and travel costs. Another step to regaining your independence. Would this be okay? Great. I would also like you to consider our money management service, who can visit regularly and support you with your budgeting, but we can talk about this in more detail next time. Thank you both for your time. I've enjoyed getting to know you both better. I look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks. In the meantime, should you need anything, please don't hesitate to get in touch.
Hello, I'm Amy Shelton and I'm the Wellbeing Integration Lead here at Age UK Northamptonshire. Jack's story is just one example of many which involves supporting individuals and their families in the community and shows us how important it is as an organisation that we work closely together to provide guidance and practical support to help individuals find their feet and their place in the world in difficult and challenging circumstances. Our staff are often faced with highly stressful and emotionally challenging situations and can deal with complex needs in a variety of circumstances. Those can include supporting people who are recently bereaved, those with mental health challenges, those who are experiencing suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, problems with alcohol, hoarding, and those who are faced with homelessness, to name but a few. This means our staff have to maintain a level of resilience which is often tested and can easily waver in times of feeling isolated or lonely within the workplace or within their roles. Most jobs and work environments increase the opportunity for connection with others. Whilst these connections and social networks can be helpful at reducing social isolation, we know that this is not the same as reducing loneliness. Loneliness is an undesired and subjective experience which can occur despite being around others and having frequent contacts. Relationships, along with our health, are two of the greatest determinants of well-being in the workplace. These are followed by security and environment, and then purpose. The nature of staff roles who are community-based means they do spend a lot of time working remotely and on their own, as they find themselves travelling around the county from home to home, visiting people. Our community support staff can go for days at a time without seeing colleagues in person. This, coupled with providing support in highly emotional and challenging situations, can have a huge impact on our staff's well-being and can lead to individuals feeling very isolated. As in many organisations, our staff are often working at full capacity and have very little free time to reflect on their own experiences and situations. They may only have time for a 5-minute chat on the phone to talk things through with colleagues who are also extremely busy and experiencing their own challenges. Thoughts and feelings which are left unsaid and not discussed can lead to not feeling listened to through no one's fault, but this then can lead to further intense feelings of isolation and loneliness. A sense of community and belonging in the workplace gives people a sense of togetherness and identity, which in turn gives us purpose. The recent lockdowns impacted staff hugely as the feeling of community and togetherness was removed. As lockdowns were lifted and people began coming back into the office, this, in certain circumstances, posed further challenges as what we knew and identified with had changed dramatically. With most people choosing to split their time between home and their office base, this has meant staff have faced the challenges of going through a period of adaptation while still working hard to support our clients. Virtual teams and remote working mean fewer face-to-face interactions and a greater reliance on technology. This is not without its benefits and does bridge the gap of in-person interaction, but has been quite challenging for some individuals, as without that colleague in-person support, you can feel very isolated, leading to feeling unconnected and unsupported. It affects how we see ourselves and our identity within the organisation. This, in turn, can have a huge impact on our staff's health and well-being. In seeing the effects of remote working and those challenges faced throughout lockdown and even up to now, our organisation has adapted. And more than ever, we recognise the importance of each of our staff feeling like they're a part of the bigger structure, that they have worth, that they matter, they are connected, they are listened to, and that they are not alone. Thank you.
Age UK Northamptonshire provides a range of services that help to connect older people to their community and address the impact of loneliness and isolation. Not all older people need structured help to cope with loneliness, but they do sometimes need something to help with depression, be that feeling a bit low in mood to feeling unable to cope with everyday life. It can affect anyone of any culture, age or background, but more older people are affected than any other age group. This is because older people are much more vulnerable to factors that lead to depression, such as being widowed, retired, disabled or ill, lonely or isolated. Retirement can herald a busy phase of life with friends and family, making plans for your time including childcare and DIY tasks. It can be a chance to try a new activity, to learn new skills, and to do the things you've always wanted to do but never had the time. But not everybody feels ready to retire. If work or career is a major part of your life, it can affect your financial security, your social life if your job also provided friendships, and your sense of self-worth and self-esteem if you felt valued at work. One way to mitigate the negative effects of retirement could be to become a charity trustee. Becoming a trustee is a fantastic way to give something back to a cause you care about. You'll be playing an integral part in the way the charity is run, ensuring it remains sustainable and financially viable. The help you provide will be invaluable. Joining a new organisation or charity is a tremendous way to meet new people from a range of different personal and professional backgrounds. There will likely to be annual meetings to attend, day-to-day tasks to complete with other volunteers and staff at the charity, events or activities to do within your local community, as well as many other opportunities to meet new and interesting people. Getting involved as a charity trustee is a great way to put your professional skills to use, but can also be a fantastic opportunity to learn new things. You'll get great insight into what's involved in the management of charities and gain skills on working well within a leadership role. I became a trustee for Age UK Northamptonshire because I realised how difficult it is for people living alone in later life, particularly with an increasing number of health issues, having been the major carer for my partially sighted but fiercely independent father in his latter years. I had time to spare following his death, and as I'm a chartered accountant already retired, thought my accountancy and management skills could help make a difference. I'm thoroughly enjoying this role and learning all the time, meeting many new people and getting to know our wonderful staff and volunteers better. As trustees for Age UK Northamptonshire, we do our best to ensure that the staff and management are supported to deal with the complex and emotional situations detailed in this presentation. For example, we promote a positive work culture, which is done in a number of ways. The provision of adequate resources, access to mental health support, stress management programs, and flexible working arrangements. Staff are provided with regular training and development opportunities to promote personal and professional growth and to reduce stress levels, and staff social activities are encouraged to help build on relationships. We like to encourage open communication between employees and management to identify and address any issues or concerns that may affect staff well-being, and do our best to support individuals in a way which is best for them. It's very important to us to hear these firsthand where possible, and so the attendance of senior management and key personnel at regular trustee board meetings gives us greater insight of the challenges facing our staff. Our trustee board works hard to provide good governance. Good governance means being good across a range of aspects, such as ensuring appropriate policies and procedures are in place in case things go wrong. So, if a member of staff was being subjected to a form of abuse by a client, it's very clear what the effective action is to take, reducing unnecessary anxiety and stress to our staff. These are constantly reviewed to reflect best practice. Also, dealing with a variety of issues in a fair and professional manner, whether it's by presentations or written papers for discussion at board meetings, gives our staff confidence that our charity is well run. Good governance also ensures Age UK Northamptonshire is financially stable by minimising unnecessary risks and having reliable budgeting and reporting systems. A strong financial position allows us to take some risks, which gives us opportunities to increase the services we can offer to our clients, as long as they're carefully evaluated, and provides job security and comfort to all of our staff. Finally, as a board of trustees, we can lead by example, looking after our own well-being, fostering a culture of self-care amongst our staff, and ensuring we all hold each other together when times are tough.
Hello, I'm Chris, Chief Executive of Age UK Northamptonshire. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to say a few words and be reminded of the challenges that our staff and volunteers face in their work every day to support Jack and the many other Jacks, Berts and Margarets across our county. Age UK Northamptonshire currently has around 18,000 clients on our database, and that's a big increase from the 13,000 that we had on our database last year. As we've come out of COVID lockdowns and we realise just how much people need and want help. This increase was a record, and it's evidence of the need and the desire for support and help for well-being from us and from organisations like us. Across Northamptonshire, as an indication, the percentage of those receiving care who have as much social contact as they would like was 48%. That was in 21-22. And that is less than half. So more than half feel socially isolated. Loneliness and isolation, low happiness, high anxiety are challenges we see often in our clients, and the situation has deteriorated over the last 3 years in particular. We operate across the county, and our clients are in every part of it, across gender and ethnicity. We serve all ages, although our clients are by a huge majority older, with the biggest group being between 80 and 90 years of age. Those people who need us most, and those who often can least afford to purchase support. It is acknowledged that our staff go the extra mile. The job is very difficult as well as very rewarding. They are often treated as if they are friends or like family members, but they are also expected to be able to navigate the complex relationships and the huge variety of statutory, voluntary and informal organisations that provide services across the county. They're expected to be knowledgeable, expert in where the solutions lie, and in terms of what works well and what works not so well. Clients appreciate, though, that we are always professional, in that whilst providing empathy for the challenges faced, we are not there to dramatise the difficulties, but are there to provide solutions and purpose to get to a better place, taking time for explanations so that clients can be comfortable, understanding clearly on their terms what is best to do for the future. Caring, professional in their approach, our staff are at the interface, the boundary, if you like, between the health and care professional experts on the one hand and friends and family on the other. That uniquely rewarding and demanding place to be. You've heard from our trustees. Our trustees are always mindful of our welfare as staff. We invested further in our employee assistance programme last year, mindful of the big increase in pressure and stress that comes with dealing with the difficult situations experienced by our clients, together with the increased workloads that I mentioned earlier, providing telephone and face-to-face counselling. But care comes in many forms, and our managers will ask about and recognise issues in their teams as a matter of course. They will also try and be as flexible as we can in relation to our staff working hours to tailor them to their home commitments and requirements as well as to their work. Sometimes we think that we know what older people, or any of the people that we support, what they want, but we are always surprised. When you dig a little deeper and listen carefully in order to find out what a truer picture is, the brave face and sense of being able to cope and be independent as portrayed is not necessarily what it seems. That is often an insightful truth for all of us engaged in this work, including being wise about ourselves and how our work is affecting us. In conclusion, there's a lot to do, and it is important not to feel overwhelmed, but rather, especially when the need is so high currently, to best support the well-being of our clients and our staff is to do so in a knowledgeable and structured way, confident in our past and the work that we do. And for our clients, being determined and passionate about making a difference, taking the time to understand what really matters, helping on their terms, so well-being will increase and loneliness and isolation be reduced for all of the people we support. Thank you.